Welcome everybody to a brand new season of Best in the Desert here in Parker, Arizona. All the big names are here. They call this the Race of Legends, and it features some of the most challenging and grueling terrain in the world. Racers will have to contend with the Parker Python, Osborne's Wash, and just when you think you've made it and you're done, you have to find a way to get through the very tricky Goat Trail. If you nail the setup, if you stay on pace, if you avoid the big mistake, you may get the sweet taste of victory. Otherwise, you may get stuck in the Arizona desert. Hold on tight. The 2020 championship chase begins now. It is time to wake up and smell the race fuel. It's a brand new season and a beautiful morning here at the Bluewater Resort Parker 425, presented by Jimco, the first race in the Best in the Desert Championship Chase. I'm Jack Rapella, pleased to be joined with motocross champion Grant Langston. Grant, the offseason is finally over. It is here. It's go time.
Well, one thing I love about this sport is they always elevate the game, whether it's suspension, chassis, motor, new trucks, new drivers even. This is what makes it great, and we're going to see who's going to come out swinging.
So much to look forward to. We're going to cover it all. First, let's give you the rundown and the 411 of this course. This is one of the most famous and infamous, I should say, punishing, challenging courses out there. 426 miles. It is the first race in the brand new Maxxis Triple Crown Series. There's a lot of money up for grabs. We're going to talk more about that. It will take about 7 hours to complete it. Now, we've talked about how punishing the terrain is. Let's take a look at this course. 5 pit areas. You better believe they will use them all. A lot of diversity, a lot of variation. We're going to see elevation changes. Parts of this course, you'll get up to 120 miles an hour. Other parts, you'll really have to check up and navigate with some finesse. It's a little bit of something for everyone.
It also makes it a little tougher for truck setup because, just like you said, so much variation. You got washes, canyons, whoops, jumps, just to name a few of the obstacles.
Goat Trail, Osborne's Wash, Parker Python. The stats tell us about half the competitors will not make it to the finish line.
Talking about how grueling this race is, Justin Lofton, the man that's been here several times, just nothing but bad luck at this race. He's won almost everywhere else. Last year, mile 16, he was out. Jack caught up with him yesterday.
One of the most remarkable, unbelievable stories heading into Parker is that this man next to me, who's had a whole lot of success, Justin Lofton, has not finished here 4 out of the last 5 years, and for 16 years, you've had bad luck. What do you got to do to finally shake that curse?
You know, we're still out there searching. That's why we keep coming back. But we have a freshly prepped truck, and you know, it's treated us good all last year. So we're looking forward to this being the year that we finally break it. So maybe 2020, the new decade.
What do you think it is about this venue in particular that has haunted you over the years?
I don't know. It's one of my favorite places to race at, and I just haven't quite figured it out yet.
Last year, I think you only got 17 miles in. Have you changed your approach at all? Is there anything different that you've done this year knowing what happened last year?
We brought a different truck. We brought a different engine package. This is my older truck, Badco, that we've had so much success with in the past. And we got our Danzio P620 big block in it, and we're hoping that that's the secret weapon for this weekend.
Well, we'll see if he can do it. Justin Lofton is hoping to reverse the curse this year. We'll see if 2020 is the year he gets it done. Lofton's one of the top drivers out there. It reminds me of Dale Earnhardt Sr. in all those years. He just could not win at Daytona. But the good news for Lofton is he qualified third, so he's off to a great start.
Yeah, that's always puts you in a good position. You want to be near the front. Jason Voss, look out for him. He's been strong of late with a nice qualifying there. And Harley Letner up at the front there, fastest time. That puts him in great position with clear track.
You got to go full send in these qualifying runs now. There's so much talent out there. The trucks are so fast. We've been close a few times, and we went for it. There's a pretty big sender out there, and we decided to go wide open off of it. almost cost us our day, but luck was on our side yesterday, so pulled it off by like 0.4 of a second. So starting out front in Parker with no dust is huge, especially we're doing the 2-day format. We're back starting in the morning. The sun comes up right when we go up Osborne Wash, and it's blinding, and the dust stays in there. So I think it's a huge advantage starting up front. I'm super excited.
A huge advantage indeed. Harley knows how to win here. He won in the 1500 category, and he's looking to do the same here today. Let's give you a look at our starting order. One important note, Robbie Gordon qualified 4th, but I do not see Robbie out there. It looks like a mechanical problem has already claimed his weekend.
Yeah, and sometimes that's where you find these gremlins, is at the opening round. You think you've got everything sorted out, you get out and race trim, and all of a sudden something unexpected comes up, but hopefully we'll see Robbie soon.
This field is stacked. Top drivers here from all over the world, and we are underway. Harley blasts off, and California Avenue, finally the offseason is gone. It's time to start a brand new Best in the Desert season. And that clear vision that Harley talked about is going to be incredibly valuable.
Kind of interesting to see, too, how they went with their orange-tinted lenses there. Like they talked about, there is sun in your eyes as well. As you can tell, they're starting before the sun comes up, so just another one of the many factors involved in this event.
Brand new race format for Best in the Desert this year. Typically, this race begins in the day and ends in the evening. Now it begins in darkness, and it will end in the afternoon. And here comes a man who's got a championship on his mind, the 5-time champ with a brand new truck. He worked the bugs out of it last season, but I'll tell you, this thing was set on kill in qualifying, and Voss looks back to mid-season form.
Not a lot of changes from the appearance on the outside. Got some good sponsors behind him. This is that left-hand turn before they start heading out of town. This is where they lay down the little rubber. You can see all the fans that came out, even at this early in the morning, getting their chance to get a close-up look at these beautiful machines as they take off, nice and clean.
And here he comes. Grant, I don't want to jinx him. I'm actually afraid of talking about him too much. Last year, Justin Lofton didn't make it to the 17-mile mark. It was an ignition coil failure. Check this out. In 16 years, he's had 8 DNFs. He has not broken the top 5 since 2004. It's seemingly inexplicable because he is one of the top drivers out there.
Yeah, sometimes these things just happen in racing, and even when you asked him why, he couldn't give you a real reason because it's been a variety of different things that have taken him out of the event.
Got to admire his perseverance. Here comes Robert Johnson out of the Chattanooga Whiskey team. Very interesting. Get a load of this. Driving for Robert at some point in this race will be the Dakar motorcycle champion, Toby Price here.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. And I think also really cool to see Toby getting his feet wet in four-wheel racing. Obviously, got a lot of experience racing out in the desert, but this will be a new challenge for him, without a doubt.
We are off to a rousing start. Clear vision right now. And here comes Jack's Redline. You want to talk about a young man with a lot of potential? 15 years old behind the wheel.
That is quite incredible. And I've got to say, that truck up close just looks absolutely stunning. Curious to see how this youngster does. Obviously, being young, he's going to be excited. And, sometimes that can lead you into a little bit of trouble. But so far, he's looking good.
Doesn't even have his driver's license yet. Let's hope the local authorities overlook that one. Let's not say it too loud, but Jax at just 15 years of age has a promising future in this sport. Here comes Tim Herbst, son of the legendary late great Jerry Herbst, looking to come home with a solid performance here.
Yeah, another family of racers. The Herbst family been around the sport for quite a long time. See, just taking a little bit of time through the cones there, getting a feel for everything. As you can probably imagine, the trucks don't always work exactly that great on the pavement.
Well, that's an interesting point that you bring up, because I talked to a lot of these drivers, and as you know, the anxiety and excitement level is through the roof, but they said, hey, don't do a big burnout on the road. You end up wearing down your tires, and you're going to need them as we go 425 through the desert.
Oh yeah, off-road tires, if you just lay down some rubber, you take that front edge off, and you need that grip right out here when you're on the gas where they're actually really pushing these trucks. Great onboard shot will show you just all that happens during this race, and look at the vision. It is tough with that sunrise.
Sun's coming up. We're just getting started. Stay with us.
The Bluewater Resort and Casino Parker 425 by Jimco is brought to you by Maxis, your way to adventure. Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. And by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world.
There's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios, the authority in communications.
We're off to a great start. Welcome back to the Bluewater Resort, Parker 425, presented by Jimco and Lucas Oil Products. Jack Crapella and Grant Langston here with you. And this man, Harley Lettner, is on a roll, off to a great start.
Yeah, exactly where he wanted to be. Now at mile marker 29, out front where he started. Fortunately, at this point, the sunlight's not in their face at the moment as they're heading away from it. Seeing our track map.
We'll give you an update of exactly where we're at. We're just getting started. Remember, it will take about 7 hours to complete this race. It takes a tremendous amount of endurance and resolve. As for Harley, when I was chatting with him earlier, he was so excited about his motor program. He's getting a lot of help from Joe Gibbs' NASCAR team. He said a lot of the brass and higher-ups from Joe Gibbs Racing are here this weekend.
That's always something great to have on your side there. Joe Gibbs obviously runs a huge operation back in North Carolina. Fortunate enough to see it myself. So having Coach behind you, only good things can happen.
It's already been a roller coaster weekend for Lettner. A fan got too close to the track and qualified. And please, let this be a lesson to anybody out here watching. We want you to come out and enjoy this racing, but stay back. Someone got too close, and Lettner had to make an aggressive move to get out of the way to save himself and the fan. Fortunately, no one was injured.
Yeah, never want to see that. So we got a chance now to see Voss looking solid there. You can see just a little bit of dust in the air. Just shows you what happens when you got one truck up the road. These things produce a lot of horsepower and throw up a lot of dirt.
Going on board now with Jason Voss. He won the last race of the year in Lofton, where these guys were hitting the street jump at 122 miles an hour. They are fearless. Voss, pound for pound, one of the best off-road racers in the world, no doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt there. Also, Justin Lofton, another one of those drivers you can throw in that category. Guys won almost everything. I think he would love a win here, but I think at this point in time, he would just love to finish. That's got to be a step number one, that old saying in racing, to finish first, you must first finish. And that would be his number one objective going into today.
I'm crossing my fingers for him. He's a former ARCA champion, can get it done on the pavement as well. But as for these trucks, my goodness, take a look. Now, we've averaged out these numbers for you. I'll warn you. You know racers love to push the envelope. I can tell you from walking around the pits, some of these engines are already making more than 1,000 horsepower. We got about 30 inches of suspension travel. You see we've averaged out the cost. Grant, I can tell you for sure, somebody spent close to $1 million on one of these trucks.
Yeah, some of those trucks, when you get all the bells and whistles, they're going for close to the $750,000 range. But you can still get something competitive in this series that's affordable. But I guess it depends what your affordable is.
Robert Johnson having a great ride so far. Toby Price, the Dakar champion, the factory Red Bull KTM rider, standing by. He will take the driver's seat a little bit later on. Could you imagine the psyche? I cry if I get a scratch on my passenger car, my road car. How about spending $600,000 and taking one of these trucks out to the desert and absolutely annihilating it?
Well, that's where you've got to try not to worry about what it's going to look like at the end and enjoy the ride. Look at this beautiful shot from the helicopter cam. But you can see the dust ahead. Fortunately, there's a slight breeze, which is just pushing it off the road, which is going to really help the drivers a little further in the pack.
When the vision goes away and when it deteriorates, how do you deal with that? How do you accommodate? How do you prepare yourself for the lack of vision?
Well, the thing that is unfortunate with that is a lot of times drivers and riders will tell you have to just back it down because you can't see as well. You're not going to go into an area and overcharge. Then the problem is you get frustrated, you overcharge a section, and you could destroy the truck. Remember, you drive these things 110% the whole time. Hate to say it, but at some point, something's going to let go.
Big contrast in styles and strategy as well. Some of the drivers I talked to said it is full send from the beginning. Some of them said they're going to take it easy on lap 1 and 2, and you really got to watch those rocky sections because a flat tire can be disastrous and will cost you a lot of time.
Yeah, you never want to be sitting on the side of the road if you're stationary. That's a huge, as you can imagine, time loss. Sam Baldy there in 7th place at the moment. Looking strong. He's got some clear track. This is still early stages. There's your leaderboard. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Building a country is hard work. That's why Ford builds the Super Duty. To help build the roads, the buildings, and everything else that needs to get built. There are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios. The authority in communications.
Here with Scott Harden of Best in the Desert. Scott, I just walked through the pits. This place is packed, this sport is alive and well, and I know for this year, we've got more money up for grabs with this Triple Crown. Tell me about the Triple Crown.
Well, it's something new with Best in the Desert. We really wanted to create a series within a series, kind of. Absolutely, year-end Best in the Desert Series Championship is the crown jewel of off-road racing. But the Triple Crown just adds additional excitement and money to the whole equation, which is really a motivating factor for a lot of these racers. And we really looked at a lot of things about our whole program going into this year, what we could change up, how we could make improvements. We really wanted to try to provide as much excitement as we can for the spectators who are out here doing it. And certainly the money up for grabs is really important. I mean, over $600,000 in guaranteed purse throughout the series is a record as far as we know of in off-road racing. Some really serious money up here for grabs at this race. $25,000 bonus for first overall in the unlimited class. If you add in the regular purse money, if somebody's going to walk away $40,000, $50,000 after the race on Saturday.
What a year it'll be with the Maxxis Triple Crown. More than $600,000 up for grabs for these racers. And a $25,000 bonus to the winner of Trick Truck today. And boy, I'll tell you, Jason Voss looks like he's on his way to securing a big payday.
Well, yeah, after we just saw leaving that last checkpoint, he is now the current leader. So nice little move forward there. Got a little cushion, estimated almost 3 minutes. So he's been on the gas.
Voss won here in 2013 and 2014. He's got redemption on his mind after suffering a crash last year. Let's take a look at where he's at. Mile marker 134. Voss really dealing with these conditions well. He seems to just get quicker as the day goes on.
Yeah, looking strong. Harley still right there. Toby Price running strong, but the biggest loser out of that, Justin Lofton, he's dropped back. Some more issues for the guy who just cannot get it going here at the Parker 425, but he's still in the race, so that's something good to look at, and in the top 10.
Yes, fingers crossed. And I would be remiss if I did not mention thoughts and prayers go out to Andrew Whitehead. Unfortunately, Whitehead suffered a nasty crash in qualifying. The entire U-Theory team withdrew from this race. That's why the Turzo brothers are not here. But we wish all the best for Andrew. We hear he is on the up and up. He is walking, talking. Those are all great things.
Now with Toby Price running in that top 3 and getting an update on Lofton. It was a drive shaft issue, so lost some time, but did not put him out of the race.
Interesting to note about these transmissions, too. I spoke with the transmission manufacturer, and they said, look, the shock, tire, and wheel technology is advancing so quickly, the drive lines have a hard time keeping up. Transmissions are definitely the weak links when you come to looking at what fails on these trucks.
That's one thing about racing. You make some things better and stronger, and then you realize it exposes the weaknesses of other parts. That's why we see breakdowns and we see drivers always trying to get that edge. Dave Taylor now in the top 5. So some guys moving forward. We've seen a few drop back, but on board here with Sam Baldy, he another one of those drivers, start out the top 10, still looking strong late on this lap.
Sam Baldy having a great run. He builds his own trucks, comes from a racing family, looking to push that thing to the finish line. Now, if you're new to desert racing, remember, if they encounter any problems out there, they have to be able to fix their trucks. That's why you see all the equipment on board there. Tires, tools, upper links, alternators, starters, everything you could possibly need to fix a problem out in the desert. But all these drivers are hoping that they don't run into any of those issues.
Well, no issues for Joe David, our leader in the buggy class. Got some clear track around him. You can see a little dust over in the distance, but not affecting him as he drives.
Oh, and look at this. The short course standouts going for a Best in the Desert championship this year. That is Scott Bailey and Dave Mason Jr. out of the Stronghold MavTV Lucas Oilback team from Riverside, California. Boy, they're having a great day so far.
Oh, they sure are. But now you can see vision becoming a bit of an issue a little further in the pack, and we can have a look a little closer at these beautiful machines.
These buggies are wild. They are fast, upwards of 900 horsepower. They top out about 135 miles an hour, 22 inches of travel. Everything you need to soak up one of those whoops at about 100 miles an hour.
And you hear from a lot of the drivers, and you look at the results. The buggies are often in the top 10, depending on which race they're at. Buggies sometimes can have an advantage in certain sections.
Yeah, there's a big rivalry between the buggies and the other categories. The competitors in the buggy class, they always want to be first. Here's Brian Parkhouse now. His son Cody Parkhouse could not be with us. He's at home with a brand new baby, but we may see him later in the season. Steve Olagus now 9th place on track, having a great run.
Yeah, looking good there. See with the Fox Shocks racing machine. But back to the front, leader on lap 2. Jason Voss, man, that truck just sounds so wicked as it comes past.
A virtuoso performance so far for Voss. He's going to be tough to beat. And good news for Lofton. He's starting to climb back up through the standings. Harley still 2nd place on track. But remember, track position isn't what matters. It's a lap's time. We've still got a long way to go to get to the finish as we take a look at the Maxxis Top 5.
The Bluewater Resort and Casino Parker 425 by Jimco is brought to you by Ford. Built Ford tough. Polaris Razor. Fuel your passion. And by K&N, superior airflow, superior performance.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged Radios, the authority in communications.
there's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
The season opener has been everything we hoped it would be so far. Welcome back to the Bluewater Resort and Parker 425, presented by Jimco and Lucas Oil Products. Talking about a young man who's having a great performance in the 6100 category, Kyle Jurgensen. He ended last season with 3 straight victories. He's got a brand new ride for Team Brenthal, and boy, he's going after that championship already.
Yeah, great way to start the season, looking good out front. So, Cowboy, there we go. The nice little rag. Get that dust off the visor. You can see the sunlight. Definitely a factor at this sort of event.
6100 category is a spec class, so a little bit of traffic out there. We have new rules, though, for this year. They have allowed these competitors 40-inch tires up from 37s. Oh, there's a little love tap.
That was a real bump and run right there. But that's what you got to do out the desert. Let the driver know that you do want to come through.
Rubbing is racing. That may have been a little bit more than a rub, though, that's for sure. As we get into the late stages of this race, can you imagine 7 hours behind the wheel?
Well, there's no way to relax, you know. Anyone that's never driven off-road won't realize that you cannot take your focus off for just a second. Maybe in the pits you get a chance to have a breather or think about something else or make a change, but watch this. Almost 93 miles an hour. Woo!
Whoa! Oh no! Right into the bush and the brush. This is what we warned you about. Ouch! What's a brush feel like in your face at 93 miles an hour?
Definitely doesn't feel that good. Oh, look at this now. You can see it. This is what happens with this course as the day goes on. Lap after lap, it changes. It's getting rough. See the braking bumps. Trucks start to chatter, which means you have to brake a little more methodically, maybe a little bit earlier.
The body coming off of Taylor Mills's machine. Hopefully that can make it to the end. Some of these teams will make driver changes for a little relief. Not sure what the best strategy is. Some say that they like to stay warm, they like to stay in the zone. Others say it helps to get a fresh driver in there.
Yeah, I think there's always a bit of a... Oh, you can see what's happening. As it's getting rough, it's catching these guys off. They're coming into that little chicane section just a little bit hot. How about this? Jenson Button, 2009 Formula One champion. He's definitely gotten a taste for off-road racing. He's had to learn also about how that chrome horn works in Best in the Desert.
We've got racers from all different disciplines. Oh, Dorman getting out of shape!
And we had just talked about those ruts. And basically, when he got on the brakes there, didn't have the wheels lined up. Got a little cross-rutted. You saw what happened. Just enough to throw it over.
And we'll get Dorman some help as Osborne continues to stomp on the gas pedal. So many obstacles out there. Look at Kyle Kraft and James Dean motoring right around him. Thank goodness they didn't slam into him. That could have really halted their performance.
Absolutely. And this guy, Brock Hager, a short course specialist, the defending champion, sitting in 8th place on track, but not necessarily a lap's time. We had a chance to chat with him a little bit earlier.
We decided to take this year off with my truck, and we're gonna test some parts and try to progress the truck. But the news is I'll be driving with Alexander Ford in their 6100s, so that's really exciting. We've always worked with them. We always all pit together, and we have the exact same trucks, so it's kind of exciting, and I can't wait.
A brand new team for Brock Hager, only 20 years old, took a 2nd and a 3rd in the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Short Course Series last year, looking to go back-to-back here in Best in the Desert. Ray Griffith racing with a heavy heart, dedicated this one to his longtime prep man who unfortunately passed away just prior to this race.
Yeah, always a tough one going into an event like that with something like that over you. But I think as racers, you put that stuff behind you, and a lot of times they're able to channel that motivation into a great result.
Oh, and here we go. Kyle Kraft in. Looks like we will make a driver change is what I'm hearing. And here comes James Dean, son of Pat Dean, standout in the buggy category. The fire drill is on. As you can see, we'll get James suited up as quick as we can, and we'll see if this driver change benefits this team.
Well, one of the good things you saw the crew having a look around, more precautionary, but no frantic changing or any mechanical work going on, so that's a good sign.
Talking about the rule changes in 6100, the motors are now up to 525 cubic inches. We're going to talk more about that as we roll on. Take a look at the Maxxis Top 5. We'll be right back.
Building a country is hard work. That's why Ford builds the Super Duty. To help build the roads, the buildings, and everything else that needs to get built. There are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios. The authority in communications.
We are now on the final lap of the Bluewater Parker 425, presented by Jimco and Lucas Oil Products. That man, Jason Voss, continues to build upon his lead. And look at all the spectators. Man, the sleepy little town of Parker, Arizona comes alive when Best in the Desert rolls in.
Oh, it gives a great chance for the fans to get up and close, right next to the highway there.
And let's take a look at where Voss is right now. He just is stretching out his lead by the minute. He is in the zone. The new truck blues are gone. The former champion is certainly returning to form. Harley Lettner following him. Take a look at Justin Lofton. He's climbing up to 8th spot now, looking to get that curse reversed.
Yeah, and Brian Wilson took over. He's in that 10th spot, but third as in his class.
Checking in now with our top qualifier with his Joe Gibbs Power, Harley Lettner. He's had a great performance, but nobody's had an answer for Voss.
Yeah, it just seemed like Harley came out, had the lead, and then on that opening laps, somewhere lost some time. But since then, sort of been able to maintain it. Oh!
Uh-oh. This is problems now for the Dakar champion all the way from Australia, Toby Price. Looks like they're having problems with the hydraulic jack. They may have to get out the manual jack. What a mess.
Probably something that Toby doesn't have a ton of experience on is changing a truck tire or wheel, but those guys obviously done some practice and they are getting it done.
You want to talk about a sport that takes a hard-nosed attitude. You're behind the wheel for about 6 hours. Now your co-driver's got to jump out and figure out how to get that tire off with a manual jack. It's got to be exhausting.
Oh, it is, and you're also in all your gear, so it makes it a little harder. See, the drivers don't want to take the helmet off, but then they battle to see what they're doing. You can just see how big these bumps are getting. Just a big, whooped-out section. Trucks using all the travel through there.
A lot of activity behind your leader. That includes Dave Taylor. He's moving up. But as for Voss right now, what do you think the level of anticipation and excitement is, knowing that he could be closing in on that $25,000 bonus?
Well, it's always a great thought, but you got to remember, too, on lap 3, this is the toughest lap of the race. The track's at its roughest, and this is when sometimes things happen, whether it's a mental error or just a mechanical. Whoa! Easy.
Tracy Graff has been on the move as well, the 57-year-old out of Canada. He was third across the line last season. He's made some great moves up today. He's looking like he could be closing in on a very respectable performance. Joe David, our top qualifier in the buggy category, the former high school standout baseball player, doing a great job.
Oh, you see how well balanced that buggy was coming in the corner. Suspension just working flawlessly. Probably a lot of the reason why he's out front.
And Toby Price, the two-time Dakar winner, obviously taken to four wheels quite well. Do you think any of those motorcycle skills carry right over?
Well, I think just not panicking in that situation and knowing what you have to do. And they did it in such great time, even with the hydraulic jack not working. Grabbed the manual, you could see cool, calm, and collected, and still did not lose a spot on track. We'll have to look at the elapsed time, but still running third.
Justin Lofton, the 8th vehicle on track. Probably not the results he wants, but the good news for him is that engine is still alive.
Yeah, it is alive and looking good. See these trucks moving around a lot more later in the race.
Lucas Oil keeping Dave Mason Jr. and Brandon Bailey and Scott Bailey out of that Stronghold Performance team alive. They are off to a great start. Keep an eye on these guys in 2020. They got a championship on their mind.
Should do. I mean, looking at the performance, it is a long series, a lot of racing to be done, but nothing better than coming out at round one and going, hey, you know what? We're in this for the long haul. We have a chance at the title.
Brian Wilson now taking over driving duties for Team Parkhouse. A lot of driver substitutions as we get into the late phases of this thing, and that track has changed more than ever. Look at how deep and unforgiving some of those ruts are.
Yeah, certainly are. This is that section we keep seeing. It's a little tough because the trucks are shifting the weight from the left to the right, from the back to the front. Grooves are getting pretty big, but that's what makes this race so special. Top 5, not a lot of changing. Voss, Lettner, Price, Herbst, Taylor. That's your Max's top 5.
The Bluewater Resort and Casino Parker 425 by Jimco is brought to you by Maxis, your way to adventure. Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance. And by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios, the authority in communications.
There's torque. Then there's 1,050 pound-feet of available best-in-class torque. There's towing. Then there's up to 37,000 pounds of available best-in-class towing. There's backing up a trailer. Then there's backing up with available class-exclusive Pro Trailer Backup Assist. In other words, there are trucks, and then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
We are closing in on a finish here at the Bluewater Resort Parker 425, presented by Jimco and Lucas Oil Products. And if this were baseball, that man right there, Jason Voss, has a no-hitter going in the 8th inning because he is way out in front. I'm hearing about a 20-minute lead. Jason has been flawless all day long.
Well, you can tell just by the way he's attacking this course. Maybe someone could even tell him with that size of a lead, maybe just tone it down a little bit. Track's rough. You can see closing stages. Mile marker 128.
Well, Grant, you can speak to that better than anybody. I don't want to bring back any painful memories, but just because you have a lead doesn't always mean you can make it to the finish. Mechanical issues happen, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of times when they do, it is towards the tail end because you've been abusing the truck all day long. The whoops are the biggest. The ruts are the deepest. So things just tend to happen.
Tracy Graff now, the tough veteran out of Canada. Graff suffered a nasty rollover a couple years ago. He told me he was out plowing snow the next day. That's how well these trucks are built and how safe they are.
He's just had a fantastic drive outside of the top 10 to now second on track. I'm sure before the day started, he wouldn't have expected that. I'm sure he would have hoped for a great result, but he's got to be over the moon with this performance.
Mike Prescott looking strong. Man, look at how deep and sandy some of those sections are getting.
Yeah, you love these helicopter shots. Gives you a little perspective of where they're at, the speeds that they're getting up to.
such a beautiful, scenic course. If you can get past all the rocks and all the obstacles, where else can you follow the Colorado River right to a finish? Uh-oh, we've got problems. Tim Herbst out of the vehicle. That could be the end for these guys.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they're rushing around the truck, so obviously not a flat tire or anything along those sorts. Must be terminal, and you can just see the dejection, the frustration, standing out there. I gotta imagine too, having that helicopter fly over my head would probably just rub salt into the wounds.
That's a rough one. We told you at the beginning there would be a lot of DNFs. We just know that from the statistics. Toby Price trying to get around. You can see that device on the right-hand side. They are cleared for the pass. But speaking of Price, we got to take you back and show you what happened here, because here's an incident that MacGyver would be proud of. They had a problem with the throttle. The fly-by wires failed, so they didn't know what to do. They scrambled, they pulled off the hood, and check this out. A shoelace, of all things, used as a throttle connected directly to the engine.
That's just mind-blowing. Look at that. A shoestring, but as you can imagine, hit a few bumps, and oh boy, shoestring breaks. Fortunately, they were not too far away from the pit stop. Were able to idle in and get an actual cable, a little bit stronger, but this will still blow your mind. These guys are now going to go out at over 100 miles an hour, pulling a little wire cable. Look at his hand's not even on the lever there, because he's using his hand to gas it.
Never say die attitude. Can you imagine going 104 miles an hour? I guess that's a little bit like a motorcycle throttle, using your right hand to control the gas.
But how weird would that be this late in the race to have to totally change up your coordination? Oh, James Dean got it nice and sideways through there. He's looking good late in this race.
Yeah, he's moving up. The driver change benefited this team, and what a change of fortune for Dean, who had a lot of tough luck in the buggy category last year, suffered a lot of brutal crashes. He's really liking the 6100 category.
As we see Scott Shovasha, Texas, so a little trek for him out here to the desert, but I'm sure he's familiar with big open deserty areas.
You can see the Colorado River. That means we're closing in on a finish. Voss continues to build upon his lead. I don't know if we've ever seen a performance this dominant at Parker.
Yeah, it's just, this is one of those ones going to go down as not only is probably one of the largest margins of victory, but just how you said he did it. Took the lead early and just extended.
And ladies and gentlemen, here we go through the finish. Normally, we need to stop and do the math. We don't need to this time. Jason Voss is your overall winner. He gets $25,000 from Maxxis. What a start to the season. What a magnificent Boffo performance for Team King Shocks.
Oh, well, I tell you what, those guys have just raised the bar. A lot of people are going to go home scratching their heads. That was an absolute dominant performance. And Tracy Graff, he has got to be absolutely over the moon from outside the top 10, second on track. That was fantastic. But let's go and catch up with the winner, Voss.
We just went out and had a good day. The truck was working great. Can't thank King Shocks enough, Method Race Wheels here. We've been doing a lot of dialing in on this truck in the off season and all last year. So the truck's really coming around. And, my co-pilot did an awesome job. And, it was just, we were in the groove all day. End of the first lap, I got a rock on the drive line and would get a vibration about 115, 120. So I was worried that some guys would start catching. But really just me worrying about that was about it. No, we went out and had a great day. Corey Racing Engines does the engines here, and man, this thing was hauling the mail this weekend.
Last year we were talking about you had some of the new truck blues. Are the new truck blues finally gone?
Well, hopefully. There's no wood in here for me to knock on. Yeah, there's no wood to knock on, but we got carbon fiber.
and more importantly, to start the season with a win, has this set the bar rather high? Are we gunning for a championship again?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go to each race looking for a win. But, obviously in the back of our mind, we're here to race for a championship as well. So, no, great way to start the season.
Remarkable. More than a 30-minute lead for Jason Voss over Tracy Graff. Stunning. And here comes the man from Canada, though. Great performance for him. He really moved up through a lot of traffic and a lot of dust.
Well, it's all, it's a long race. We talk about it. He was very methodical, and as people fell by the wayside, he just picked his way through. And this is, I got to imagine he's going to be over the moon with this performance.
A great way to start the season. We've got more finishers coming in when we return.
Building a country is hard work. That's why Ford builds the Super Duty. To help build the roads, the buildings, and everything else that needs to get built. There are trucks. And then there's the new Ford Super Duty, the most capable heavy-duty pickup truck ever built.
Rugged radios. Work, race, play.
Hey, Steve, where you at?
Experience clear communications through headsets or helmet kits.
I'm up on the hill to your right. Oh, there you are.
Talk vehicle to vehicle.
Keep radio contact going. Copy?
Talk to passengers.
Copy that, I gotcha.
And stream your favorite music. Complete communications for UTVs, base camp, toy haulers, or off-road vehicles. Rugged radios. The authority in communications.
Jason Voss has already won the overall at the Parker 425, but there's a lot to sort out behind him. Jack Capella, Grant Langston here with you for your finish. Justin Lofton on the gas. But let's get it down to our second place finisher, Tracy Graff, after a magnificent day.
We started out 13th and had to deal with some dust early in the morning, but we caught up to the guy in front of us and he had to pull over in pit one, and so we had clean air for quite a while, and fortunately never had any other traffic we really had to deal with until lap 3. We caught some lappers and had to deal with that, but other than that it was a great day. Pretty happy with the second. You know, Voss, Jason's a great friend of mine, and congratulations to him on the win, and we'll be pushing him all season.
It will be a battle indeed, and here comes Lofton. Looks like he'll be the third vehicle across the line. Is he finally off the schneid? Does this end the curse? I know he wanted to win here, but hey, it's better than the 2 DNFs that he suffered the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, for him, it's been obviously another one of those days where things happen, but still a solid result. As you see, Jason Voss, your winner there. Just what a dominant performance from that team, just all day long. And I got to imagine the competitors, they got some homework to do when they get back from this one.
Look at this. We're going on board with the champagne bottle. Thank you to our friends at Max's. He gets the Best in the Desert money. He gets his contingency money and $25,000 as the winner of the first Triple Crown race in 2020. That's got to make that champagne taste just a little bit sweeter.
Oh, absolutely. It always does.
Here comes Dave Mason Jr., Team Stronghold Performance, and MavTV coming in. Wow, beating out a lot of the top trucks. What a day it was for them.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Always a little fairer than the cap when those guys are able to get around some of these trick trucks. You can see his crew there over the moon with that performance.
And this man, Kyle Jurgensen, off to a great start with the new rule, 6100 category. He's got that underdrive working for him. He said it really makes the truck last. Well, we have Justin Lofton standing by. Let's see if he's pleased with his performance.
Yeah, I'll take a third place finish. I wouldn't say it's over because I count that as a win, but hey, we're at the finish line. We had a good run today. It wasn't our day, and big congratulations to Jason. We're good buddies, and obviously competitors on the shock side of it, but it's cool to see him win, and I wish I was up there challenging him all day long. But Derek did a great job prepping this truck. It was completely tore down just like 3 weeks ago, and to put it back together and have a run like we did, it's amazing. And big thank you to Yokohama, Fox Factory, Method Race Wheels, Multicam, and all the guys that help keep this truck going, and definitely feels great. This is a good way to get 2020 off to a good start. I got a lot of races planned, and this is the way to do it.
After 8 DNFs in 16 years, that's got to feel good.
Oh, absolutely. And then you look at Kyle Jorgensen coming in. Hey, great day for him, gets the win. I think the worst thing that happened is they had a light bar mount come off. Saw the co-driver holding it as they came in.
Yeah, great performance. Keep an eye on Kyle in the championship chase. That's his 4th consecutive win. Brian Wilson took over for Team Parkhouse and did a great job in the buggy category. Speaking of the buggy category, nobody was faster than Dave Mason Jr. Let's get it down to him.
We started 19th overall, 3rd in class 1500, and we had a pretty smooth day overall. A couple of little issues, but it was right down to the wire. We had a good couple guys racing around us. Brian Parkhouse was right on us at the last pit going out into the last lap, and then we got a flat tire, and that put us right behind him. So we reeled him back in, and we got by him, but we had to make up some time. So hopefully we have it here. Hopefully we put enough time down on him and got the win. But we're feeling good. We had a good run. The Stronghold car, I can't believe how well it ran. I mean, you know, with MavTV behind us and Lucas Oil, you know, everything just ran pretty flawless all day. And I just cannot thank my team enough, my co-driver Maddie here. It was amazing. I mean, it was a perfect day for the most part. I think this is the biggest win of my career. I've done a lot of Lucas Oil off-road racing before and in the Pro Buggy class and other desert races as well, but this big win here at Parker, I can't be more happy with that. I think this is the biggest win of my career so far. Hopefully it takes us a lot of good places with Stronghold, and we just keep the momentum going moving forward.
What an optimistic and encouraging start as they take that machine back to Riverside, California for the total overhaul. Brock Hager, he fell back a bit, but salvaging a great start here. Looks like he'll be the second 6100 vehicle across the line.
Yeah, he's a tough competitor. I'm sure he would have hoped to have won, but at the end of the day, just a great result for him. As you see Brian Wilson, second in class, coming in. But let's settle it down with our winner, Kyle Jorgensen.
Everything went fairly smooth, but actually it was quite the battle with Sean Kroll with the Grove Racing. We started first, had a perfect first lap, and then the crew did great in the pits, got out quick, and then right after the main pit, like a mysterious rock popped up and broke a brake line. We got out, we lost about 3 minutes, Grove got by us, and then we only had front brakes, we capped the rear, and we pushed as hard as we can. The second lap was absolutely ridiculously nuts, and we actually physically passed Grove back. And then after that, the crew did a great job. They fixed the brakes, so I had all brakes again the last lap, and we never looked back, and it looks like an unofficial win.
A talented driver, an LS3 motor with underdrive, and an outstanding chassis. Keep an eye on Kyle Jorgensen this year. He's going to be tough to beat. Let's give you a look at our final results here. After we did the math, nearly a half an hour separated Voss and Graf. It was 25 minutes. What a tremendous performance.
Just great results from a lot of the different drivers, teams. You saw some of the changes. A lot of guys going to go back and figure out where to improve. And I think some of the other drivers came out guns are blazing. I mean, for the first race, a lot of finishes. I think that's a good sign.
Voss gets the early points lead, but we are a long way from home. Some big races on the horizon here in 2020. Everybody talking about the Maxxis Triple Crown and more than $600,000 up for grabs. I hear that we're going to have a lot of drivers who didn't make it to this race join us later in the season to try to take a shot at that big money.
That's going to be great. More drivers is always better as we see the results from all the classes. What a great time out here at the Parker 425. Jack, I had a great time sitting alongside you.
It was a lot of fun. Looking forward to the entire season. For Grant Langston, I'm Jack Rapella. We'll see you next time as Best in the Desert rolls on.